In this given problem, we have an MIT soccer team that has 2 games scheduled for one weekend. It has a 0.4 probability of not losing the first game, a 0.7 probability of not losing the second game, independent of the first. If it does not lose a particular game, the team is equally likely to win or tie, independent of what happens in the other game. The MIT team will receive 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and 0 for a loss. Find the PMF of the numbers of points that the team earns over the weekend. Now, what are the key points here? Well, first, I want to highlight the fact that these are independent of each other, which means we don't have to do conditioning here. We can just multiply their odds by each other. If you want to know the probability of the first team winning versus of the team, if we want to know the probability of the MIT team winning the first game and tying the second game, we don't have to do conditioning. We can just multiply their odds together. Now, let's write down some equations here. Now, in round one, the probability of the MIT team losing is 0.6. The probability of them not losing is 0.4. So what does this mean? This means that the probability of them winning is 0.2 and the probability of them tying is also 0.2 because here, as you can see, it says the probability of them winning or tying is equal, right? So we can write down the probability of them winning as 0.2 and the probability of them tying as 0.2. For round 2, we can do something similar. Here it says the probability of them not losing the second game is 0.7, which means the probability of them losing is 0.3. The remaining probability, 0.7, will be divided by 2, giving us 0.35 for them winning and 0.35 for them tying. Alright, now these are the probabilities and we need to find the PMF. Now, what is a PMF, right? A PMF is the probability for each possible outcome. Now, what are our possible outcomes, right? Our possible outcomes are we get 0 points, we get 1 point, we get 2 points, we get 3 points, or we get 4 points. We can't get 5 points because, as you can see, we can only get 2 points per win. The max amount of times we can win in 2 rounds is 2 times. So, for all other x's, which is bigger than 4, the probability is 0. Now let's calculate these ones. For 0, what do we need for 0? We need the team to lose the first round and the team to lose the second round. Now what's the probability of getting 1 point? Well, we can calculate this as the probability of the team losing the first round times the probability of them tying the second round, or the probability of them tying the first round and losing the second one, as written here. The probability of them getting 2 points is, well, both of them can tie. One can win, the other loses, or the first round is lost and the second round is won. So we can write this as them both tying, or the first round being a loss times the second round being a win, or the first round being a win and the second round being a loss. Oh, there's a mistake there. Again, we continue these for each ones, following the same logic, right? So I'm just gonna write these out real quick. You can probably guess the logic here. I don't want you to hold your hand through the whole question. You can actually pause here and try to figure out the last one, which is pretty easy. All right, now, what do we get for each of these? We have 0.18 here, 0.27 here, 0.34 here, 0.14 here, and 0.07 here. All of the probabilities in a given PMF added up must equal to 1. So the total of possibilities in PMF must be equal to 1. So we can say the sum, right, of all the PMFs, right, to infinity, to whatever, of the point mass function of x should be equal to 1. Now, is this true? We put 0.18 plus 0.27 plus 0.34 plus 0.14 plus 0.07, and indeed we get 1. So 0.18 plus 0.27 on and on does equal to 1. So we satisfied this condition. Now we can write the notation as such. The p of x given x, now this is big X and this is small x. These are not the same thing. Do not let them, it might look like they're the same thing. They're not. It's a bit weird to get your head around it. It took me a while. So if you don't understand this exactly, it's fine. I will explain it more in detail in the other questions. Will be for x equals 1 will be 0.18 for x equals 1. X equals 0. 0.27 for x equals 1. 0.34 for x equals 2. 0.3 0.14 for x equals 3. 0.07 for x equals 4, and 0 for all other x's. Because there's no possible way to get a negative point or points more than 4. Here they should just be sums like this. And here we have our answer for the first question. Now don't let this haunt you. As the upcoming chapters and questions roll on, you will not be calculating these PMFs by hand, maybe for 1, 2, max 3 values. But this is just a way and a question for you to get familiar with what a PMF is and what it means. Well, I hope you had a fun time and learned something. See ya.